What up? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a much requested, much asked for video, and that is how I apply my fake lashes. So how to put on false lashes, which is one of the hardest things I've ever had to master, and even then I still have my days. So I thought I would finally film my lash tutorial about how I pop these on and give you some tips and tricks on the way that I've mastered it, or the way that I have figured out how to get these on. So yeah, I know I have struggled with this for ages, and there was a time when I was doing makeup when I refused to put lashes on because I just couldn't do it. I sucked. So I sat there in front of my mirror for hours trying to put these on, and then I still remember the day I nailed it, and I've never been happier. But that's why I decided to create this video for you guys, because I know how hard it is, and it is a mission. I know so many of you girls get your lash extensions done because it's too hard to put lashes on, and honestly, if I could stand lash extensions, I'd be doing the same thing. But my eyes are too sensitive, I get irritated, I want to do so much with my eye makeup, I don't want to be able to rub my eyes. The one thing I hate is being like super gentle when you've got lash extensions on. So honestly, all power to you girls who can do them. But if you are, you know, in isolation like we all are, and you're unable to go to your lash lady but you still want to have lashes, this is how you can pop on fake ones, or at least for the night out. So if you guys want to see how I apply false lashes, then keep on watching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the lashes. So I'm using the Eylure London Fluttery Intense lashes in the style number 175, and they come with glue here, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first grab tweezers. You can use any tweezers. I've just got my favorite set of tweezers. You can use your fingers, but I have sausages for fingers, and I cannot get in there and be anywhere near as precise as I need to be. Never happens. So I've got my favorite tweezers here. I like a really sharp tweezer, like really sharp, and I just want to make sure they're nice and clean, because obviously I use these all the time and they just get mascara on them, they get glue, everything, they get sticky, so they'll start feeling sticky together, and I do not like that, because that just makes putting on your lashes an absolute mission. So I'm making sure they're nice and clean, just with some tissues, and I'm going to open up the lashes. So we've got this one here, and then we've got the glue that I'm just going to take out, and I love that this glue is latex free, which is amazing, so you're not going to be like me and have an allergic reaction or anything like that. Plus it's super small, so I keep this with me, especially when I go out clubbing or anything like that, and you know, you may get watery eyes, you did a tequila shot and your eyes start watering, things like that, and you want to make sure that the lashes don't come off. So I will keep this, or one of these or a bunch of these, on me at all times, just in case. You never know when you're going to need it. But what we're going to do first is we are going to measure and trim if we need to. Usually with me, not all the time, but almost all the time, I don't have to trim them because I do have quite big eyes, but if you do, I'll show you what you will do. So what I'll do is I'll gently pull these off so they're nice, they're not really stuck on there like some. The amount of lashes that have gone RIP because they've been stuck down too intensely to the packet, I don't even want to talk about it. So we've got the right lash here, which is really good with the packaging. They tell you which one's right and left. Sometimes you guess it. Alright, so what I do is I will grab it in the center of the lash, not quite on the lash band, as you can see. And just to measure first, I'm going to pop it on as if I was putting it on when it's got the glue. But I'm just going to pop it straight down in the center of the lash. These ones are nice and curved, so it makes it really easy. So I've just popped it on like that. I'll see if you guys get a bit better. So I've just popped it on. And as you can see, it's not being too long at the end when I've centered it. So it's nice and in the center, matches up with the start of my lashes there, and it finishes pretty perfectly. So I don't need to trim these, but if you did, the way that you always do it is from the outside in. So do your best to kind of tell how many little hairs you're going to have to trim off, and always trim from the outside in. Start small and see how you go. Every time you trim a little bit off, pop it back on and measure it. What you want is you don't want that tail to droop down. That's gonna, one, make it uncomfortable, they're gonna lift, they're gonna come off. Also two, it's going to make your eyes look really nice and droopy, and no one wants that. You want that lift. So we want to make sure that they don't droop down, they're not too heavy, they're not going to fall off, or they're not going to start lifting. So what I would do then is just get a really tiny little manicure scissors, my favorite ones here, and then I would just trim off a few on the end depending on how much I needed. Start small and build up. You don't want to cut too much off and then you end up with half a lash, which you can use. You can just pop that on the corner, but you just don't want to do that because you're going to waste your lash. And unless you're skilled with individual lashes, you can't really fix it off that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the glue and I'm going to pop it on the lash band. So I'm holding the lash like I did before in the center. I don't want to go all the way to the very edge of the lash. I don't want to go on the lash band because if I get any glue on it, the glue is going to stick to the tweezers is going to stick to the lash. It's just going to be a hot mess. So I leave like a millimeter, as you can see. And then I'll get the glue and I'm going to pop an even layer. It's very hard when it doesn't want to focus. So I'll pop an even layer. Focus. On the lash. And that has popped on there. Don't be too alarmed if you get a little bit over the edge. It is going to dry. This lash glue dries clear, so you're totally fine. I'm just going to make sure I've got every little bit. Again, going right to the outer corner, covering the center and making sure you're getting that inner corner as well. And now what you want to do is you want to let the glue get tacky. That is the key. That is if you take one piece of advice out of this, it is let it get tacky. If you pop it on right away, that thing is going to slide everywhere and you're never going to let it sit there. It needs a few minutes. At least a minute depending on the glue. So you want to leave it get tacky. If you feel like you've left it long enough, probably leave it a little bit longer. See how you go. So what I do is I'll just sit here with the lash and just, look, you can blow on it, but I don't really like the idea of probably spitting on the lash that's going to go on my face. And I'm just so used to not blowing on it when I'm using lashes on clients. Yeah, if you have bad breath too, no one wants that. And once I've waited long enough, what I'm going to do is pop it straight down into the center first, making sure I'm securing that center, securing that outer edge, and then securing the center. And if you need to, pulling it gently. But because that glue is tacky, it sat straight on there. There was no sliding, there was no lifting, and you can see already there is some mascara on the tweezers. So I'm going to clean that before I start securing the lashes in place. So now what I want to do is I want to grab underneath my natural lash and on top of the fake lash, and I'm going to clamp them together. Ever so gently, you don't want to get too close to your eyelid. But what that's going to do is going to make sure your natural lashes and the lash are as close together as possible and look the most natural. And then I'll get underneath and I'll give it a bit of a push up just to give a little bit of extra zhuzh and volume to them. I absolutely adore Eylure lashes because they're so easy to apply, especially this particular style. They have a very small band. The thicker the band, the harder it is to use, I find anyway. Some people find it easier. For me personally, the smaller band, the easier it bends, it fits to the eye a little bit better. With some lashes, when I pull them out, I actually have to grab by each end. I'll show you with the other one. Where I will actually have to grab either end of the lash. Luckily, these are beautiful and curved, but I actually have to sit here and curve them myself just to make that thick band bend, and almost, you can sometimes hear it crack a little bit, just so it fits your eye shape better. So now I've got the other lash and we will measure this one as well, because some people have different eyes, some people have bigger, some, like I know that this eye is a little bit more droopy than the other, so some people may have that. You may have one eye bigger than the other, you don't know. So you measure it to see. is looking pretty much the same. I don't need to trim it. So I'm good to go with this one, but if you did need to trim it, you just go how we did before, starting off with one little piece of it and gradually getting more and more. You usually can tell with the lashes where you want to get the little knots or the hairs. So you can start with that first one and then it's gradually get bigger and bigger depending on how small your eye is or how big the lash is. So start small and then gradually get more and more as you go. I'm just going to put the glue on this one just like before. And another trick, if you have quite curly lashes or you're blessed with long lashes or they have a really nice lift to them, you want to go up and over. So you can either look down, which is a really easy way to do it. So I've got a little mirror here and I will just look all the way down, as far down as I can go, and then lift up and over. And secure it in the center, pull to the edge. And yes, I did wait for it to get tacky before you come at me. And then secure the middle. So that is all done. That is how I pop on my false lashes. Now, the key before you do your lash is you want to do your mascara first. So I did my mascara first and I also tight lined. So that is another key that I do on every client. I do on myself every single time I'm doing my makeup. I will tight line. So what that is getting your black or brown or whatever color eyeliner you want. I usually use black or I'll use a dark brown. And that is just popping it, instead of putting it on the waterline here, which is optional depending on what look you're doing, you want to pop it on the top. What that's going to do is that's going to make a really nice seamless line, especially if you've got liner. You're going to have no little nudie gap under there. So I'll get right in. I usually flick my eye out like this and go in there. Can be a bit ticklish, can be a little bit uncomfortable. That's totally fine. Just pop it on if you can do it. So that gives your natural lashes a really nice thickness, but also it creates a really seamless line. So there's no little nudie gaps. I have sat there and watched like movies and I've seen that gap and I'm like, tight line, please. It was like the one thing I've learned that has stuck with me forever is you must always tight line. It just looks so much better. Everything looks clean, seamless. There's no gaps. There is just that overall fullness. Everything just looks way better. Other questions that people have is when it starts poking you in the corner or the outer corner starts lifting. Usually that is because the lash is too long. Sometimes I will get a watery eye. Sometimes I will just accidentally touch my eye with my eyeshadow and it'll leak for the rest of the day. And with that, I still to this day have no remedy for it. I will put eye drops in, I will do whatever I can, but once it starts leaking, it starts leaking. But if you're finding it's just lifting for no reason, your eye's not sort of watering or anything like that, it just won't stick, or the inner corner is poking, the lash is too long. So then you need to trim it. So even trim that tiniest bit and see how you go. It will make the world of difference. Another question that I have is people asking, I cannot get them stuck down. I try and pop them on and they just go everywhere and they just will not stick, and it just makes it that much harder. And that is where the leaving glue get tacky comes into place. So leave it get tacky for as long as you can. See how you go. Obviously don't sit there for 5-10 minutes because you'll try and stick it on and it won't really work. It might, but it's probably not going to last as long. So most glues I find with the Eylure glue, a minute. A minute is all I need. Some other glues I might need a little bit more, some I need a little bit less, but most of the time a minute is a good rule of thumb to at least leave it there for that long, and that's just going to help when you're popping it on. Another trick that I did, I just practice and practice and practice. I just sat here in front of the mirror for hours trying and trying and trying, and I would even get some pre-glued ones. So Eylure does a few pre-glued ones and they're amazing. I will pop some of those links down below and show you which ones are the pre-glued. They will make your life so much easier if you're starting out. So it is so much easier to just pop them on. They're already that tacky, perfect glue stage, and they're so much easier to use. So pre-glued is amazing. I find their shelf life is a little bit less than the normal glued ones, but you know, with the price point of Eylure lashes, I'm more than happy happy to buy my favorites again. It's totally fine. They are really, really, really good. With the Eylure lashes, I'll get 5 uses out of them if I don't clean them. But I will clean them and I will get even more than that. So cleaning your lashes, the way that I will do it is I will get a Q-tip. Sometimes if there's a decent build up of lash glue, I will get my tweezers and I will gently peel it off. But with that, you've got to be very careful. So what I'll do is I will get a micellar water probably, and I'll get a Q-tip and I'll gently clean off every little bit of glue I can, and then that's pretty much it, and that's how I keep them clean. Most of the time I am peeling the glue off with the tweezers, but be very, very careful you don't rip the lash with that. But if you keep them clean, once you've used them, pop them back in the box, you will get at least 5 uses out of them, which is amazing. All right, I think that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to finish the rest of this look, which is pretty much just put a lipstick on and set my face in place. That's it. All right, so I finished the look, I popped the lipstick on, but that is everything done. That's pretty much it. If you guys want to see how I did this actual eyeshadow look, I'll pop the link down below as well, and I'll pop a little card thing up somewhere for it, so you guys can just click on that. But other than that, I really hope that this video helped you and helped you figure out how to put lashes on, or at least just gave you a few more tips and tricks to really understand how to do it. And I just really hope you guys can nail it because it's so much fun. I will warn you, once you start wearing lashes, you will never go back because you cannot undo it. You can't. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's a little box down there, and click the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and even pop some comments down below if you'd like as well. Other than that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!